3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
Welcome into the open where we get technical. You should have investments in long-term growth. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Let me turn down our copyright-free, royalty-free music. This is Get Technical. I am your friend and host, Neal Hamilton. With me, as always, is young producer AB. Thank you for that nice introduction from Spencer Israel. And members of RAT that are watching right now, I want to thank you for making a seminal 80s hair metal hit that I know, guys watching right now that are not RAT members and RAT members yourself, those lyrics, I looked at them. It was about technical analysis. I see what you guys are doing. But don't worry, we're not going to play your music. We don't want to get you in trouble with your studio. We get it. All right, guys. Who got in on the X action yesterday? Who got in on the X action? Oh, I'm sharing the wrong screen. What the heck? 1 second, guys. But let me know. X United Steel Corp or United States Steel Corp. I don't know, but X is steel. We had a nice break above resistance for the day. Great for day trading. The stock ruled yesterday. But it did not close above the point we wanted to close at for the big move, the big positional trade. Guys, give me a 1 in chat. Actually, this occurred to me yesterday based on a question that the Raz man asked me, Uncle Raz. Let me know. Oh, Sean, did you pile in before? Yeah, I set an alarm for 3:45 p.m. Eastern before I check to pile in. At 15 minutes before the close, if it's looking like a strong close above my buy point, then I do it. If it's not, nope. But yeah, the Raz man, Uncle Raz, asked a question about a market overview. Give me a 1 in chat if you would like to start each one of these sessions with just a broad market overview where we look at, NASDAQ, QQQ, we look at S&P 500, SPY, and then look at sectors just to get a broad idea of how things are going. The show's in the morning, so it seems like a good time to do that. Leon, I see you with your pick. Okay, so we're getting some solid ones. All right, share screen and share audio. All right, let me get okay, so we're gonna do a broad market overview, really, but we're gonna do it lightning fast. We're not gonna do this like certain cable programs where they sit there and yap about it and yammer about it, and then invite a bunch of people to say like, "Man, what do you see with me?" We're just going to look at the freaking market and see if it's in a strong uptrend, a sideways trend, or a downward trend, right? Is there strength behind our picks? Or what's our YOLO meter for the day? All right. Is the audio coming through? Just let me know yes, no. All right. So before I get to the picks, then let's just look at the old NASDAQ because that's the one that that's been the money printer for the previous year, and it's not right now. Okay, audio's coming through. Cool. Let me know if you need me to change the levels and stuff because I think what I hear is different from what you hear. So here's the take on QQQ. Very simple, guys. We keep this simple. Here's the thing with the news cycle. The news cycle every single day is going to say the NASDAQ rallied. The NASDAQ's looking strong. The NASDAQ's looking weak. Markets are shaky. On a day-to-day basis, that's super dumb. We want to look for trends. Trends take a series of days. So let's do this very quickly. We are below the 50-day moving average. This is blue line on QQQ. That's not where you want your NASDAQ to be. We like our NASDAQ above the 50-day moving average. All right. So let me illustrate this further. We are still getting lower highs. What do lower highs and lower lows mean? Short-term downtrend. DMA says add 10-year bonds, please. Hey, don't go too far. I'm not that smart. So yeah, QQQ weakness. Yes, we had a couple days up, but that's just a continuation. It's still within the bounds of the sloping line of resistance, right? So this is just it's still our little ziggy-zaggy in a downward trend. Trade stocks that have the support of an upward trend. I didn't make that up. Also, what I would say is it lines up pretty well. We want to get above the 50-day moving average. You don't want to live in if you're day trading, different story. This is just crazy volatility. You can do all kinds of things. But if you're looking for some swing trades, or you just in general want to have some strength behind the trades that you're making for them actually to resolve the way you expect, the sector must be in an upward trend if you're bullish, and it must be in a downward trend if you're bearish. But I'm like, everyone likes bullish better because it's easier to trade, right? So shakiness, QQQ, SPY, 9:30 at the open. Producer AB.
3, 2, 1, 1, 0.
All right, got that out of our system. The market's open. We'll get to the picks really soon. Broad market overview. S&P holding above the 50-day moving average. This one was, I was watching this one, right? We got the body just holding on the 50-day moving average. Problem, we have not reached a higher high. Easy, guys. A trend is higher highs and higher lows in sequence. We haven't gotten there. Not bullet. There's no reason to be bullish on SPY right now because this is so far a sideways trend. We shall see. We shall see. Here comes the bleeding. Daniel says, hey, guys, don't have an emotional connection to the markets. Yeah. 13 says that the New York Stock Exchange is going to come after me for using their bell sound. All right. We don't have an emotional connection to the markets. I mean, we do. I do. I can't help it. When the market's down, it affects my mood. Ask anyone close to me. But we try not to. Down market, up market, sideways market, it doesn't matter. The market is doing what it's doing, and it's our job to understand that and exploit it. All right. All right. So blah 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 blah. Yeah, DMA. I agree. I'm not prepared for it this morning. Maybe tomorrow. On the bond yield thing. Blah blah blah. Markets are angry. Ooh, X. Let's check X. I just got an alert on steel. Hey, okay, so yesterday we were looking at metals. So I wanted to get into a sector analysis looking at consumer staples and utilities. Keep those top of mind. We're looking at XLU and XLP, I'm pretty sure. That's the consumer staples. Keep your eyes on those because they are showing strength. Go to my Twitter if you want more details on that. But yes, Hertz Scrambler, same page. I got the alert. We are breaking out once again, all right? We need a sound for this. We need some kind of like 80s hair metal hit to play for this. But unfortunately, my hands are tied, guys. Steel is in motion, my friends. Now, once again, just like yesterday with X, I wanted to see a close above this line of resistance. What we've got is a cup and handle as a supplement to the resolution of our longer-term rounding bottom on steel for a big old money-making breakout. Bullish. Let's go. This pleases me greatly. But we shall see because intraday things get wild in this market. Things get wild. So let's just keep our eyes on it. You can day trade it. So let's take a look at it on the 10-minute. Obviously, it's the first 10 minutes of the market, but what a start it is. Let's open up our exponential moving average for 8 and 21. Brad from Training Grounds Live style. I mean, no surprise. Our faster line is curving up. Oh, what a beast. Look at this thing go. So what you can do, there's a couple ways you can approach this. I am an idiot and don't have my brokerage open right now because I'm all about the content. This is an entry signal, but for going hard on it, if you're not going to watch it intraday, yeah, I know. I wish we could play X Gonna Give It To You by DMX. He would probably be a lot cooler than Rat and let me do it. This is an entry point. Go United States Steel. Let me just do a thing. I got to talk to like a guy about some stocks really quick. Hold on one sec. Really quick. No big deal. Oh. Keep it going. Keep it going, Steel. And I just got to talk to a guy about a trailing stop loss really quick. Just no big deal. Okay, cool. Sorry about that. So yeah, X gonna give it to you. Still looking good though. Like this market is wild, but this is still trading within our range. It is an inside candle if you're a stratter. I don't know what number that is, but so X for options. I don't know. Are you day trading them, Tony Tsunami? I mean, possibly. The only way that I've been safely trading options is on the 10-minute chart, and I'm using the 8 and 21 exponential moving average. Fast line crosses above is my entry, which it's currently above. Fast line crosses below, that's my exit, and we're looking like we're in Fergalicious territory. So keep watching it. And remember, guys, when it comes to like really piling into these long-term resolutions, we want closes above. So it's the amateurs trade the open, pros trade the close kind of thing. Okay. That's Steel. Keep me coming back to it because that's just so exciting. I wanted to look at Clorox really quick. So we're looking into consumer staples, and let me know if you want to get off the consumer staples thing. That's fine. I think it's a good idea. I think you should be looking at consumer staples. I think you should be looking at utilities. Way to go, Toddy, with the 22 calls 2 months out. You saw the writing on the wall. But if you have some picks you want to look at instead, let me know. Right now, we're just going to look at Clorox. So here's what I like about Clorox. It has broken above its 50-day moving average handily. RSI is in agreement. Momentum is in our favor. Momentum is in our favor on the MACD. The fast line is above the slow line. In fact, it crossed back on May 5th for this beast of a candle. What an entry point that would have been. All right, Leon, we'll check. Okay, Leon, here. I'll put that up on the screen so I don't forget it. Let's just do some real quick technical analysis on Clorox. We're broken above our sloping line of resistance. Looking good. We're in breakout territory. Why? Because we've got a nice little head and shoulders pattern down here. Nice little head and shoulders. Shoulder. Head. Shoulder. Reversal. Which should take us from a downward trend into an upward trend. Next line in the sand we want to get past is where this body got hit. Right here at 196. But we are in breakout territory. We are in breakout territory with a profit potential. Here, let's do our profit potential. We'll draw a line from the head up to the neckline. And then we'll add that height to the neckline to set our price target for resolution of our reverse head and shoulders pattern at the bottom of Clorox. Profit potential, were you to enter now, 5-something%. But we are looking for a sustained reversal of this pattern that we've been in, this downward trend that we've been in. And let's look at this over a longer time frame to get the bigger picture. this could just be a big consolidating move following a broader uptrend where we would do something like this. I know I'm getting crazy, guys, but I'm going to go to about the start of this upward trend. This is on the weekly chart for Clorox. They're making the wipes. They're making the wipes, guys. You know how much we love wipes during the COVID times. These guys got the wipes. They're selling out all the time. So this is the height of our pole. And then we've got this little area where we've broken out. We're going to add the height of our pole to that breakout point for a broader, longer term price target of 287 for Clorox. They got the wipes. All right. So we're going to look at AYX because we were politely asked multiple times. So I just want to illustrate this really quick. I would really, really like to play Round and Round right now by Rat, but that's okay. So that's about a 48% gain from where we are today. Exactly. Big Reddington says it's a 5% move on common stock. Throw some options at it. That's what options are for, baby. Well said. So we're going to look at AYX for our friend Leon, which my years in marketing tell me that Leon's avatar here is definitely a stock photo from an infomercial. Is that like a blender? Is that a ninja? Just my my marketing spidey senses are going off. So AYX, here we are, right at support. In fact, let me bring this up a little bit. We've broken down a bit past support. I think this. I would go short on AYX. Remember, this is not investment advice. This is purely for educational and entertainment purposes only. But I am short AYX, downward trend, RSI, downward trend. Look at the volume drying up, all red. And our fast line on the MACD crossed below our slow line on February 16th, 2021. Oh, we're looking at weekly. I should perhaps choose a daily. Okay, different story. Okay, so I was on weekly. So now it's starting to look on daily. Now it's starting to look like this thing is oversold and could bounce. But we're getting no indications of bounce right now because it's red and it's going down. It's below our support line. So you can draw another line in the sand like this and say this is the absolute lowest point you want it to go. But if you are bullish on AYX, you might be able to get it at a steep discount, betting on this oversoldness and the fact that our MACD fast line is crossing above our slow line. But notice the curl on the MACD. Can y'all see that? The blue line, the thick blue line is curling. We like to see that curling. The curling is awesome. That's for fast pivot moves. But we like to see that curl going in the direction that we want the stock to go in. And right now it's curling down. So it looks like it could cross below. This one looks very, very chancy. This looks like the odds would probably not be on your side if you're bullish on AYX. All right. So moving average. So what type of solar up and up? For the moving averages, I bounce around a lot when I'm not on the show. I'm always trying to like pretty much any time that I'm drawing a trend line or like a speed line, whatever you want to call it, that is sloping on a stock, I try to find the moving average that matches it the most, because different stocks will have a different set of moving averages that really work for them. Different stocks have different personalities. So you can have like a tool chest of moving averages, either exponential or simple, regular, whatever, and whatever time frames that you use as your like default toolbox. And it's a great starting point. But if you're really going to get into a certain sector or a certain stock, it's good to tailor the ones that you're using just by clicking around and trying different ones, or even going online and seeing what other people are using for that stock. A lot of times I'll search the stock on Twitter and just yoink ideas. I'm here to tell you, I'm all about stealing ideas from other traders. No, I have no shame about that. Absolutely none. This is not a vanity thing. This is not about whose idea is better than others. All right. So that's one quick way. A lot of times I'll do that. Any chance we can look at Zynga? Yeah, let's look. Okay, what do you have the SA number in the MACD? So my MACD is 1226 and close 9. You should be. Oh no, you probably can't really see it. Maybe you can see that. I'm not sure if it's really clear. Here, let me open this up. Here you go. Fast length is 12, slow length is 26. This is the default. This is your standard MACD. And then this is also standard. The signal smoothing at 9 and the source being the close. Yeah, my RSI and my MACD are complete vanilla. I have not tweaked them at all. I don't want to tweak those indicators too much. I think that's getting too fancy. I like to stick to, nuts and what do you call them? Nuts and bolts, nuts and berries. What do you call it? I like to stick to the stuff that is the basic and tried true stuff. I'm not trying to get out here and get too fancy. Okay, so what's up next? What are we going to look at? So we can still look at our sectors. I'm liking Clorox still. I'm a Clorox man. I use the wipes. I do in fact use the whites. Meat and potatoes. There you go, Alfred. Bread and butter. Peas and carrots. Red Bull and oatmeal. American cheese and corn dogs. Okay, so we're gonna look. I'm gonna try to go in order here. So we got PAAS. Remember to give me your time frame, guys, so I know. Silver. Okay. I already. Well, okay. This is kind of a broadening wedge. All right, so we're looking at this on the daily Pan American Silver Court. What I will say is that most of the strength has been in non-precious metals. I'm pretty sure silver is precious. But let's go ahead and do this poll. I'm not going to use the low of COVID here in March. I'm going to use this dip that occurred after this sort of V. And hopefully you guys can see this. I'm going to take down these other indicators and really zoom in. Ooh, I should have used the Fibonacci extension on my last thing. Our guest is going to be mad at me for not using Fibonacci. So I'm going to start my poll here and go up to the height of this pattern. You must have an upward trend for a bullish continuation. We've been trading sideways, but we'll treat this as a broadening period of consolidation for the sake of this exercise. Which actually it's not. It's not a broadening. Well, actually, we can do this tomahawk style. Let's do a tomahawk style. So what I'm doing is drawing a broadening wedge or a megaphone, as some people call it. I'm going to use the first swing high and the first swing low as my first pivot point, and then the next point that follows that, the next extreme point, either to the downside or to the upside, to draw my lines. Now, this is one of there's really three ways if you're doing the Chris Capri. Sorry, Chris, I suck with names. Way of looking at things, which is you can get an impulse that has sideways or whatever is an impulse and then has a corrective phase like that. You can get an impulse down that has a corrective phase like that, or with both of them you can get an impulse and then it goes in the opposite direction before it has a corrective phase. This one is a pain in the ass. But that's what we're working with silver right now. So in any case, I'm treating this like a broadening wedge, and then I'm sure if we if we were using moving averages or Bollinger Bands, I can throw in some Bollinger Bands here. We can derive some insights, but since this is a pattern-based show for the most part, I'm starting with pattern. Then we can go a little bit deeper on it. So you see how this looks like a tomahawk? Like if we take the pole here, the height of the pole, looks like a tomahawk, right? You ever seen The Patriot, Mel Gibson? Guy loves tomahawks. So an important feature here is the apex. So where these two lines meet, we want to draw a line. So we're drawing a line right where these two lines meet on our broadening wedge or tomahawk pattern. Now, price target to the upside for PAAS, Pan American Silver Corp, is going to be the height of our pole added to the apex. So wherever the breakout occurs, which it needs to break above the sloping line, that's your price target, like $60. If you're bullish on the stock, that's how you're using technical analysis to assign a price target to it. You can just trade, if we were to use Bollinger Bands, I think is the wisest way to go about this. You can trade in the meantime as it bounces around up and down past the mean, because look at how range bound this has been. Touches the lower standard deviation, crosses above to the top, goes back down to the lower, hits the mean, bounces back down to the lower, goes to the top, rides it for a while. Nice trade. If you were using this as a as your indicator, you would have ridden this all the way up and then gone short as it started to pivot back down. You know, going all the way through this thing. So that's the Bollinger Band, a way of going about it. So I would do that. Daily on PLTR, you called me brother. Daily on PLTR. I haven't looked at this for a while, but yeah, I had a feeling it was going to be rough. We're trading below a really important line. We're in Bear City. This is a bearish trend. So a couple things you would want to see. We can use the Bollinger Band in this case to see if there is a volatility squeeze on the way. Eric Sullivan, sorry. PLTR just burned up my GME wins, and that should say a lot. Sorry, brother. So at any rate, this seems to be, it doesn't line up with anything in the past on the daily. Let me see around this. So this is at a previous body. But look, right now you're at support that was former resistance. Actually, not even really. It's not even lining up with the body. PLTR is a hot mess. Short, easy answer. PLTR is a hot mess. There are better opportunities elsewhere. Come back to PLTR when it gets back above resistance, looking for a breakout. What you want to see is that. And what it looks like it might do is this. Eric, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, so ARKK daily. Whoops. Okay, so previously we drew this as an important line. We've got the neckline here on what is kind of like a slanted head and shoulders pattern here. So, actually, hold on. Am I wrong about that? Yeah, I'm totally wrong. This thing just outright reversed on you. That's all there is to say about that. So we'll use the ARK. Let's get our ARK tool. That's a reversal. That's a top. The final swing before this bottom started is right about here. So for a full resolution of this reversal, it's going to have to be something like this. So that could line you up with this little area of consolidation, or hit your support right about here. So I would be short on ARKK. $90. Yep, short ARKK. I mean, this is, guys, don't get emotional connections to your stocks. They're not people. They're just prices on a chart that go up and down, and you want to get on ones that have prices that do the thing you like. Steel's dipping. Let's take a look back at steel. Steel is a fickle entity. We are just not getting. Let's look at XME, the metals ETF. Just check in on it. And okay, so yesterday you guys might recall that I said, "Hey, we got a cup without handle." Well, now it looks like we're forming a cup with handle. Okay. So we shall see. Now we got to break out of this sloping resistance. That's XME. Steel still fighting that resistance. Consumer staples, Clorox, not a lot of strength behind it today. It's staying tight, very neutral. But the trend is our friend. The trend is our friend. DraftKings. Let me... Yikes. Looks like a top. So let me delete everything. All my drawings on DraftKings. No, actually, no. So looking at the daily for DraftKings. Let's put this in context using our parallel channel tool. So I'm going to draw my first point on January 5th, 2021 on this this swing low here. Draw my second point on the next lowest line, which is basically today. So this is the channel that is currently trading in. We want to hold this sloping support line, which it currently is, which lines up with the lows on these two candles. Can you guys see everything? So with DraftKings, if it's going to stay in this trading channel, it must hold this sloping support line, and we want to see it give us a nice green candle to show that it's pivoting back up. If it does that, you can target the median range here, which is like probably going to be around $68, $69. And if it passes that, you can target the upper line. Now, looking at our other indicators, we would like them to agree. So what we want to see is on our RSI curl up, which it may happen. We also want to see volume start to come up and be green. And then we also want to see our fast line on our MACD curl up. Right now, these two are mostly down, but that's because it's a down day and we're still in the downtrend. So they're agreeing. But we would like to see some agreement to the upside for entry. I don't enter at this low until I get confirmation. So I would say, once again, as always, I'd say steel taught us a lesson yesterday. At the close of the trading day, if it's going in the right direction, and your RSI and your MACD agree, then go for it. But then we can go, whoops, stupid ass paintbrush tool. Then we can go a bit higher with this. Whoops. With this channel. Bring it up to this swing high. See what that looks like. And that gives you the full trend for this thing. the full trend, which gives you a higher target for returning to this bullish trend that we've been in this whole way, upper trend. So it's DraftKings. Mara intraday. Mira, Don, Mira. The market is so shaky. Consumer staples. Let me look at home builders really quick. RH, nothing really doing extremely well. Home builders. Let me look at utilities really quick. Where are my utilities? Utilities are there. Oof, oof. Yikes. Let me look at metals really quick. Do I have a metals one? I don't think I do. Yeah, metals are just also getting beat up. Guys, don't trade for the sake of trading. If you're in a trade, just know that it's unlikely that you have the strength of its peers, of the company's peers going in the same direction on a day like this. All right, I'm going to delete all my drawings on this. Oh, look at... hell yeah, okay, look at VT. Yeah, I haven't looked at oil at all today. So Mara has been trading sideways. We're in a sideways trend since pretty much February of this year. That's super rough. I'm not even going to do that. You can look at this like a big flag of some type. Absolute possibility that this is breakout incoming. RSI starting to curl back up. MACD fast line starting to curl back up as we are on a green day so far for Mara. Yeah, we should definitely look at oil. Look at those dirty energy stocks. So you can trade this within the range of the apex of this pattern. You can look for bounces on the sloping line of support and a return to the apex line. Bounces on the sloping resistance, return to the apex line. It's probably the most conservative or safest way to do it. But for a positional trade or a longer term type thing, if you're looking at this as a wedge, we're drawing our pull from the start of the January 28th impulse. Actually, let's do this more conservatively. So instead of that, I'm going to measure this measure and move. So we have our first swing high in the wedge pattern to our absolute swing low in the pattern. And then we're going to add that to our breakout point. So when the breakout occurs, it's the swing high, which is right here, to the lowest swing low, added to the breakout point to establish a price target. So that price target is purely hypothetical. It's not based on anything that's actually happening. But then for your aggressive price target, you're going to do the pull added to the apex, which is where these lines meet. So that's an aggressive price target upon breakout for Mara of 72, which is, it depends on when you get in, but from the apex, that's 82%. XLF is only green. Okay, so I want to look at VET. Oh, actually, we're over. Our guest is here. Our guest is here, guys. That means I'm off the hook. We'll get to your picks later if we have time after our guest lesson. So we've had this guest previously. This is the guest that, much like a traveling Viking, weathers the wild wilderness of Forex with his handy Fibonacci extension tool, Fibonacci retracement tool, as his weapon. So this is the wizard of Fibonacci stuff, as far as I'm concerned. Producer AB, can we bring on our guest? Angela,
Yo,
how's it going?
what's going on? How's everything?
Everything's good. Everything's good. Looking like the stock market is not easy to trade today.
Yeah, what are we buying up in the stock market now?
I'm not buying up anything. I'm waiting until 3:45 p.m. Eastern time to see what happens after all this nonsense.
Yeah, everything. Well, I'm not, looking too closely, but I see a lot of things have been in the red in the stock market. So, if anything, I'm looking to buy. I would buy and hold. I know you're more intraday trading. I would look to buy and hold, so I'm looking for maybe a next tech stock to buy. But yeah, how's everything going?
It's pretty good. We're in Michigan. We're still on a little bit of a lockdown. I got my vaccine appointment for Wednesday. I don't know. Do you still get vaccinated, Angelo? Because I believe that you did get COVID.
Oh yeah, I had COVID. No, I'm not getting vaccinated, actually. I mean, my parents got vaccinated. I technically have the antibodies. I don't know how it all works, but I'm actually moving to Florida like next week. So just like you said, a Viking out in the wild, man.
A Viking in a very temperate climate and a very nice sunny area. That's awesome, man. Florida, that sounds exciting.
Yeah. It's funny you actually comment on that. I've been told to watch the show Vikings recently, so just kind of it all coming. All the signs are pointing towards that. But yeah, like you said, I've been navigating the markets last night. Actually, we started to do this live call. So for those that don't know, obviously, the group that I'm with is called Forex League. You find us on Instagram. We're mainly focused on trading currencies and commodities. We started doing these live trading sessions for the premium members last night in the London session, and the trader that is on the team that's supposed to do it, he showed up late, so I had to hop on and do it from like 2 to 5 a.m. So normally sleeping during those hours, but I was up trading the London session last night, which I normally do like to trade. I just don't. I like to swing trade and intraday. Like I don't like to wake up and scalp the London session. So I was up trying my best to be an active mind during the session. But yeah, that ties into why I chose to choose Forex. Was it is flexible in the sense that you have these 3 sessions to go ahead and trade if you'd like to.
Yep, that's I really want to get over there. Like I've been asking chat and Twitter, although no one answers my tweets when I do this, but which brokerage to go over to. So I want to be able to trade cryptocurrency, Forex. I want to be able to trade everything on a single brokerage. I want to have ridiculous margin rates. And that's pretty much all my requirements.
Yeah, I mean, if you go over to our Instagram page, we're partnered with Prosperity FX. They're the broker that we work with exclusively. They have, fairly good spreads, very low. The commissions are pretty standard, and for the most part, from the withdrawal standpoint, the withdrawals are secure. They are unregulated, so I know a lot of people are looking for regulated brokers in the U.S. It's not difficult because I do recommend to risk 1% per trade, 0.5% per trade. But if you were to get with a regulated broker in the U.S., it's all 1 to 50 leverage, very low. With these unregulated brokers, you can risk a bit more, 1 to 100, 1 to 200, all the way to 1 to 500. But that's the broker that we work with, that I work on. If you were interested in getting with a broker or anyone, that's the broker that I would recommend. You could trade cryptos, stocks, Forex, commodities, indices, and you'd like to go with.
So we lost you for a little bit there, Angelo, but Prosperity is one that so Prosperity is one that I haven't looked at, so I'll do my due diligence on that and maybe make a decision this week. Just shout out to the chatters. X is moving above and below the line of the resistance, so we're not getting totally defeated here at 10 a.m. But Angelo, I was wondering if you wouldn't mind sharing your screen and taking us through some charts and kind of showing us how you look at your assets and how you execute trades.
I'll go ahead and share up. I have a few pairs broken down right now, so I can run through them for everyone that's on the call that's interested. Like we talked about last time, when it comes to technical analysis, like Neal, you are performing on your stock charts. It's fairly similar. We're looking for patterns. The main pairs that I'm trading right now, I've been trading gold a lot recently. It's just when I look at the charts, guys, all I'm looking for is market structure. I'm looking to see what is the trend, on the daily, on the 4-hour time frame. And I always start on the higher time frame. I always start on the weekly time frame. So as we can see on this, this is where gold currently is right now. We're coming down to test this 1680 level, which previously price moved off of pretty dramatically to the upside here, moved up. And gold has a lot more movement in it, a lot more pips or points, as they say in Forex. This thing moved up 760 points previously off this level. We're coming in to retest it, but just starting from a blank chart perspective, what I'm looking for here on the weekly time frame, I always start on this time frame. We could see the trend is very bearish. What I look for is we had this support level established, this lower high point. We broke, retested this level right here, boom, once, twice. These are the areas we're realistically looking for entries. These are very high probability areas, considering they're the support turned into resistance. Then we broke this support level here, pushed down, came back, retested this level once again. So in this area is where I'd be down, going to the lower time frames, evaluating, what's the trend on the lower time frame, where can I possibly get on entries? And then we pushed down, formed this little level support here, broke this, as we could see, came back, a little bit of a retest. Not my ideal situation here because of all the wicks. Then we pushed down again. This is where we're currently at. And as we could see, the resistance, supports and resistance all the way up here. So at this point, I have to start to go down time frames and evaluate what's going on the lower time frame so I could potentially make a decision to enter. And the daily and the 4-hour is where I'm really basing my overall structure on. I trade based solely on price action and market structure. That's the two things that I'm looking for here. Obviously, the other things that I consider, supply and demand zones. I do bring on the Fibonacci levels, mainly looking at 38.2 and 618, which I'll bring on in a second. But as we can see here, the same theme as on the weekly time frame. We came down, formed this level of support, broke lower, came up, formed this level of support right here, broke lower, formed this level of support, and then what happens? We end up falling through this low. And if I were to have my fib on here, and we did go over this last time using the fibs to kind of mark down structure, we're looking for 38.2 is the main area we're looking for reversals from, and 61.8. Those are the two areas that I've highlighted recently. There's a lot of, chatter about this 70.5% level on the Fibonacci tool. I haven't tested it much yet, but these are the main two levels. As we can see, price rejected this area twice, ended up pushing down. We're not going to move the fibs until this level, the support level, is broken, which is here. Price pulls back, and then that's when, and again, we went over this last time, that's when I would be moving my fibs, looking to see where it hits. If it hits that 61.8 area, that 38.2 area. I'm personally trying to trade very naked. Like I can realize whether it's pulling back at that 38.2 or that 618. And the main thing I'm looking for is it testing this most recent support turn resistance level? Like, look at this area, and we're still on the daily time frame. So this is a very strong confirmation. Like, as price is coming up into this area, this is the reality of where I want to get in on a trade. I don't want to get in on a trade once price makes this move back down all the way down here. When we're all the way up in this area, we're starting to see these wicks. We're testing that resistance. This is when I want to start to put on risk. This is ultimately the best possible area that I could get in on an order. And as we can see here now in the lower time frame, it's the same thing. Just looking at market structure, we hit this high point, pull back, make this higher low, come up, and I try to be just very, I don't try to get in, oh, like this little move here. Like it's simple. We have this pullback, push up to this high, this pullback. We came up, tested this level right here. And then now, we're in this area. So from my point of view, I would be thinking, what do I need to break right now to start to get in on potential short orders? As I just mapped out this structure right here. We're at this high. We're forming a wall here, obviously. So I need to see some sort of break of this area to start to get in on entries. And guys, this is me just running through this. Everyone knows about backtesting, what backtesting is, how to do it. And this is what I would do if I was hypothetically testing, some sort of strategy right here. The first kind of order would be, okay, we're breaking this level right now, looking for the retest. We come up, retest this level, have this double top, these huge wicks. If I was stalking this really closely, this would kind of be my first entry area. But say I missed that, we're kind of just on the lower time frame now, on the 1 hour. And when am I going to look for my next potential entry? We need this thing to come back up. We need it to come back up, form some sort of lower high, see how price spikes back up there. Ideally, though, I want price to retest this level. As you see, we're starting to form these like lower time frame pullbacks, like boom, pulled back there, pulled back here, pulled back here. I ideally want price to come all the way back up to this level to actually take an entry. That's like, in my opinion, the safest, most high probability trade. Obviously, once this all starts to happen, we get this large spike up, then we get like a break of this level, then I could start to say, okay, I want to continue with the trend. Price never retested this level. Now we're like just breaking structure here. I could even put in a little short opportunity right here. And this is all just kind of off the cuff, what I would do. I'd be looking at this, lower time frame. Does this trade make sense? Are there confirmations here? Trend obviously turned to be a bit bullish, broke the support level, spiked back up into this area. Is this, a good entry? We retest the resistance. We had our stops up here. Price is now running about 0.8. Like that's what I look for, is I'll just look for the high value area. So originally we were looking for this up here, this support level, now turned into resistance. Price never makes it back to this area. So next, all of this structure starts to form. So then we can start evaluating this area. As you see on the 30-minute, the 1 hour, this started to break down. The way that I look at it is like this. We had this low, form this lower high, push down, form this lower high, push down, form this lower high. Then it broke up to bullish trend, form this high, form this higher low, started to consolidate a bit, form this other higher low, pushed up, form this next higher low, and then it starts to break first here, then here, then here. Now we're at this new low. The trend has reversed into a downtrend, and we're always entering on lower highs in a downtrend. So I would take this trade. I'd probably do a sell limit. I've been using sell limits a bit more as part of my trading, because it's all about getting in on the best possible entry, guys. Say I got in down here and then my stops are up here. It's just not as great of a trade as just getting in at this point. We could have had a wick fill here. I had last week this nasty wick fill on golds, and then during the week, I'll show you guys in a second, during the week, it got really choppy last week with things going on with, I guess, this evergreen shipment getting stuck and other things going on. So it got really choppy. I was very aggressive with it, trying to put my stops pretty close, which is fine, which is okay, because I'm just operating the same way that I would. But I'll show you guys in a second. So this trade, as you see, is up about 0.9. I would make this risk-free, let it continue to run and see how it plays out. If it comes back to break even, we're out of the trade, and then we just look for the next position. So that's kind of what I look for, going from the weekly time frame all the way down to the lower time frames. And you can just find structure on every single time frame. As I'm even looking at this now, on the 4 hour, we can see this level was pushed down. We just formed this lower high now. So what I would be doing on this one, and this is all just testing, guys. This is all forward testing, back testing. This is what I'll do to continue to sharpen, my craft, sharpen my skill set. I'm saying, oh, price pushes up into this high. This is my resistance level. all the way up here. Let's see if price makes it back up to that area. And we could see here, price comes down, the same kind of variation here, has that support level, breaks, retest, potential trade. This one was massive. And then as I go forward, I'm just going to run through a little trade that I took last week because market structure was really starting to form on this one. And again, daily time frame, very bearish, broke the support level, pushed down, formed this minor resistance, pushed down. Then we were just testing this resistance. And then all of a sudden we had this support level broke, turned into resistance, and we hung below this. And this is right where I was getting in on my entry, right in that area. I'm going to go ahead and clean this up a little bit, come down to the 4 hour. So the 4 hour, this is, a little choppier than I'd like to show you guys, but I'm trying to use this line tool to demonstrate. The 4 hour pushed to this low, broke this lower high, then we headed higher, made a new high, pushed down, this higher low form, pushed up, then we just started to consolidate. We started to consolidate, form these lower highs, had this lower high here, this level became this wall right here, and then the area I was looking in was right here. We had this, because I was trying to get on shorts, we had this little support area I lined off right there. This is where I had my original little entry, was like right in this area at the time. This was kind of how it was going down. We had price breaking lower. This was my resistance, support and turned into resistance. I put my little order there. My fill, we got filled right there. So this was like one of my better entries, to be completely honest. We got filled here. My stops were like fairly close. They were like right about here. And then we came into a good amount of profit on this one. We took some profit. I was trying to swing this because the overall move, was this to push really far down. And then ultimately, price came up, took us out at break even, and then it continued to push up a bit until the same thing happened as before. We started to break down support levels right here, and then the next opportunities presented themselves. And then this is what I'm talking about. There's nothing to do with this. Unless you're aggressively selling at the top, there's nothing that we can there's really nothing that we can do in this area. So after this happened last week, I kind of just was like, okay, golds, I can't really do anything with at the moment. And then we came down to this low. So I'm never trying to sell at a low. I'm always trying to sell at this lower high. So going into after this was what I was anticipating. The pullback and some sort of lower high. And then of course it did pull back to this area because it's always going to form structure. And then from here, I can't tell if this was the 28th. So this was late in the week, last week, where I was just not participating anymore. But this ended up giving several opportunities to kind of take advantage of ultimately this move. And then later on, I'm just going to play this forward all the way. There was even an entry last night that I got in on where basically this thing is clearly out, very bearish, fell below the support that held for a while. And then this was kind of a little continuation I was looking at. I just went down to the 30-minute, very simple, made this low point right here, pushed up, made the support level. Then we broke support. I was either looking to retest this level, never did. Then we broke support, looked for the retest here, and we did. And then this thing freaking tumbled all the way down into this next now support area, which will probably bounce back off of. So that was a little bit more of an advanced lesson than last time. Last time was a lot more beginner-esque. This time just getting into it, getting into where are we trying to find entries? We're trying to find them at the most highly probable points. And I am using sell limits and buy limits more, more frequently lately. And I'm finding some success with them. So it's definitely exciting.
Well, Angelo, the next time we have you on, you'll have to tell us how that works. I would recommend everyone go back and watch the previous video where we had Angelo to get that sort of basic beginner-esque version of his approach to the money markets. Mm-hmm. Or if you're up to speed, I mean, this has been a really great lesson. What I always take away is the last time and this time, what I've taken away is how you really cut through a lot of the noise that can be perceived with candlesticks, and use your lines to just really get an idea of the underlying market structure. And it allows you to draw just such clean resistance lines. Your trend lines are extremely clean. So I mean,
at some point or another, it comes down to pulling the trigger. There's many situations that look fantastic. You know what I mean? You could go all day and chart and look amazing, but it comes down to which area are you actually going to put that limit at, or which area are you actually going to execute at? That's what's important here. And that's why you have to be extremely agile. There's so many different situations. Like I talk about, I only want to enter on lower highs up here within this 4-hour trend. But then all of a sudden, once this collapses, it's like a race to get in on this next potential position because of how bearish this became. Because if we were to, last time what I talked about was using the fibs, trying to figure out market structure. We were going very, very basic. Like if I go through really quickly, basically like last time what we went over, we were saying, okay, we made a low. I fibbed from the high to the low. Whenever I pull back to 38.2, I mark that as structure. Whenever we break the 0% level, I move my fib. That's what we were really going over last time in a nutshell, like how to actually mark down market structure. And you guys saw I had this all traced out. That's all using the fib. Obviously at this point now, I'm kind of just cutting, like you were saying, cutting through all the noise. And I really understand like what I consider to be lower highs and lower lows. For people that aren't as experienced, you got to use something. You got to use something to validate what you're looking at, to give you a basis, a foundation of like, okay, this is what I believe to be true. This is how I'm going to use my fibs, and you're going to live and die by that. At the end of the day, that's what trading is. It's like an art. You just create your process, go through it, and to be profitable, you got to live and die by it.
Great words to end on. Angelo, thank you so much for joining us and for giving us that lesson. Where can folks learn more from you?
Yeah, what I would say is on Instagram is where we're mainly located. You can just look up Forex League. That's our main page. And then our secondary page is Nick Dark FX. And I say it's our secondary page, but it's actually much larger than the main brand's page. But we do live trading sessions for free on Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern time and Wednesdays. So tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern time, all of our analysis is posted in Telegram. All the information is in Telegram. Link is in the bio in there. So again, just follow us on Forex League. And then we're also partnered with FX Seed. So for you guys that are worried about funding and getting capital, we're partnered with FX Seed. They're our funding firm, and the broker that we use on the funding firm allows you to actually trade stocks with margin, indices, commodities, Forex. So it's pretty cool. How it works, you got to pass a challenge to get funded. So check that out as well. I'm handling like all communication for that too. So yeah, definitely check that out. Could benefit a bunch of you guys.
Love it. All right, Angelo, thanks so much for being on, and we hope to have you on soon.
Yeah, no problem. I'll see you next time, Neal. Have a nice day.
You too. Take care out there.
Bye.
All right. Yeah, I know his charts look good, guys. Paul want me to change my color scheme to white? Let me tell you something. Back in black, baby. We're not changing unless you guys vote for me to change. Give me a 1 if you guys want me to use a white background, or give me a 2 if you're cool and like the black background. What I do have to say also about the cleanliness of our guest charts is that he doesn't use additional indicators. He just uses, when he says he only uses market structure, he's only just looking at price action. The twos are coming in. Strong twos. All right. Thank you, Paul. All right, guys. This is... no, hold on one sec. I got to do the thing. I got to tell you, Rat's managers got me messing up my day. This has been Get Technical. Happy Tuesday, everyone. The markets are choppy. Remember, on a day like this, looking for stocks that are in sectors that have their peers all going in similar directions. The branding just changed. That's okay. Smash that like, Rat Pack. But a lesson from X that we got yesterday, if you're going to pile in toward the close. Amateurs trade the open, pros trade the close. I'm Neal Hamilton. This has been Get Technical. As always, with me is producer AB. Check out Angelo and Nick Dark Forex for some more of that Forex knowledge. Next up are the maestros of malevolence, the dynamic tag team luchador duo of Benzinga Pro, Ryan Faluna and Jonathan Mallard. Spencer's here for some reason. Nope, there he goes. All right, thanks guys for joining me. I will see you tomorrow at the same time.